Did you hear that the Queen died?
The Queen didn't die.
Yeah, she did.
Michael, do you have any insight on the Nicki Minaj dying?
Well,
I don't believe it. I choose not to believe it because it seems weird to me.
They taste different.
They taste like credit card debt.
but in a good way.
No.
Welcome back to another episode of Insight, the student-run talk show here at Bath.
Welcome to Insight for the month of November. I'm Delia, senior here at Bash.
And I'm Michael, another senior here at Bash.
And today, we aren't the hosts of Versus, but we're the hosts of Insight.
Yes, Delia. But enough of that. Let's get right into the topics. Taylor Swift's new album, Midnight, turned a month old on November 21st, and pre-registration for tour tickets started on November 17th, due to high demand from pre-sales. Ticketmaster had to postpone general sales of tour tickets, which made tickets incredibly hard to get. Tickets are now being resold for as much as $22,000. What do you think of her new album? Did anyone get any tickets? Why do you think Taylor Swift is more popular than ever before?
Okay. Well, I didn't get the tickets, so I'm really mad about it because the way that Ticketmaster did it was really stupid. And I didn't get them, and I was very upset because I have always liked Taylor Swift since I was young, and she was my number one on Spotify for 5 years in a row, so why didn't I get tickets? But these other people that are resellers got tickets, they're just selling for $22,000. She's way more popular than she's ever before because she does way more things than anybody's ever done. She's extremely talented in her songwriting, and she revives herself every single time she does something.
Okay, so personally, I think Taylor Swift is just a above average artist who just has a diehard fan base. Don't get me wrong, she used to be really good. She used to be one of the best music makers in the industry, but now I feel like she's just above average in her songwriting ability, and the only thing that's really keeping her career alive is the diehard Swifties.
I don't know. I can't name... I don't know. She's definitely dying off. I don't know why people are so hyped. People... Dying off? Her songs aren't as good as they used to be.
Yeah, I mean, even in her prime, I had her ranked as my number 2 behind Lady Gaga. So,
Rihanna.
What are these rankings? Just what I like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's no reason. There's no rating. It's just what I like. So...
Okay, and since we're on the topic of albums, Drake's new album, Her Loss, with 21 Savage, was released on October 28th of this year. Did anyone listen to it, and what do they think of the new songs?
I think it was pretty bad. Compared to other stuff from Drake, I feel like it was kind of hey, I need some money. You know what gets money? Songs.
Okay, that is... I agreed with you at first. I listened to the album once, I listened to the album twice, and I was like, you know what, this isn't that good. There's 1 or 2 good songs on the album, but the more you listen to it, it's something about his songs that it just gets catchy and it gets good. I don't know what it is. I know so many people that they listen to the album once or twice and they're this sucks. It's not what I expected it to be, but you give it a couple more listens and you end up liking it, and I know a lot of people that had that experience too.
Catchy songs aren't good songs.
But he talks about what he's feeling and his emotions in his life. I'm as a listener, I don't care about that, you know? So I don't care about your personal life. Sorry, Drake, but sing something good.
He probably did that because he thinks that a lot of people can relate to it. Because a lot of the songs, I know the one was about I forget.
About
actually.
Her Loss.
Yeah, I actually thought that
The album
was
cover
good.
physically,
Yeah,
disgusting.
I don't mind the album
It's
cover.
so random too.
It's a random
Drake,
Asian model.
Yeah, Drake has the worst album covers ever.
Look at what are her teeth?
And it's just so random. It has nothing to do with literally anything. And
I think the backstory behind it is Lil Yachty tweeted it at Drake or something, just a picture of this and was use this as an album cover. I literally think that's what happened.
good.
He's just like, yo, you know, it'd be funny.
Using this as album
This.
cover.
Either that, that's his actual ex, and it's just like a huge slap in the face.
No,
there.
it's like some.
That's what I thought at first. I thought it was like his
Like a high school ex or
ex-girlfriend,
something, yeah.
The only like song that I actually kind of genuinely like is the one where he's acting all sassy and it's like the meme.
Oh, like
Where he's-
21.
Yeah.
I mean, Rich Flex is good. On BS is good. Or Rich. I mean, huh?
What's the one
No,
featured?
like Broke Boys is good. Like those songs are good.
What was
the one
one
with Travis
featured-
Scott
that was
is
the one featured with
good.
Travis Scott. The one featured with Travis Scott was probably the only one I liked. Maybe it's because I haven't listened, like you said, I probably haven't listened to it.
Major, like you have to give it a chance. Like that's like with a lot of music is you just have to give it a chance and you have to listen to it a couple times.
The good songs are where he's the one not singing most
When
of
it's
the time.
21
Like
Savage.
when it's 21
Savage
like
performed a lot
literally
better on
anyone
that.
besides him singing.
21 Savage has like the most attractive voice I've ever heard. And then I looked at him and I was like, oh, he's singing that?
The voice doesn't match the
No,
face.
it doesn't.
Like it doesn't
What
match.
if you look like if it's the rapper? You know what I'm saying?
All right. On November 8th, there was a very important midterm election, and vote turnout across the country was at an all-time high. In fact, researchers say the 2022 election had the second highest young voter turnout in the last 30 years. Here in Pennsylvania, there was an election for governor, a U.S. senator, and a U.S. House of Representatives, in which the Senate has been turned blue and the House resides at red. Nationally, the Republicans took control of the House with 222 seats compared to the Democrats at 213 seats. Democrats will keep control of the Senate with 50 seats against the Republicans' 49 seats. The December 6th runoff in Georgia between Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock will offer the Democrats a chance to add to their majority. Did anyone here vote? And what do you think of PA going blue with John Fetterman and Josh Shapiro? What are your thoughts about neither Republicans or Democrats sweeping the election?
Good, I guess.
Well,
I mean, it means that we're not really going to get anything passed if, like, I don't know, because they're like, they get a bill
it's
to
just
the.
gonna go 50-50 anyway.
I just feel like the reason so many young voters turned out is because they're tired of these like old politicians that have been politicians for like 40 years.
Yeah, so we vote an old guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I think you're right.
I feel like that's why there's more young people turning out because they want to have a voice and
I
they want to
voted.
be like represented.
Yeah, it was my first time voting, and when I went to the place, everybody was congratulating me, and I was like, "Oh, thanks!" Like, I don't understand the like hype around.
Do you guys like
young
the people that
voting.
like force you to vote?
I don't like the
No.
people that like post on their Facebook and like their Instagram, I voted. Like, yeah, you should.
I wanted a
like,
sticker. That
you
was
shouldn't
the
have to
only
tell
thing.
everyone, but
I
like
just-
I think that's why more young people voted.
Yeah,
It's all over social media.
Yeah.
Like, I think
You,
social
like-
Then you
media
get a sticker.
definitely-
It's a giant push to vote just because you see everyone else around you voting. You're like, oh well,
it's
maybe
like
I
cool to
should
vote now,
Yeah,
which
I think-
it should have been.
Right.
Like a lot of countries don't have the opportunity or the ability to do that. You know, that's one thing that's great about America.
Yeah, America.
Yeah, America.
I like that they push to vote and not to push to vote like one side.
Yeah.
Really, it's just like
Vote for who you want. Yeah.
do you? Yeah.
Yeah, because I would say like a lot of like posts I saw on social media were like giving like links and like directions on like how people can vote, and I think that's like good because then like the outcome of like the elections will like reflect more of everyone
Yeah.
that way.
And with the with everything being 50-50 almost, with what happens in Georgia, it's down to that tiebreaker. But if Georgia ends up being split 50-50, then VP gets the pick, which it'll probably be Democrat. But I think when we have 50-50 split, it pushes for our politicians to work together instead of being if the Republicans held the majority or the Democrats held the majority. It pushes for people to start being bipartisan and acting like government officials should. So I'm happy for it. And if it does turn out to where nothing does get passed, it's going to reflect that there's a serious problem within our government.
All right. And speaking of elections, on November 15th, former President Donald Trump officially announced that he will begin running for president again in 2024. Also last week, Kanye West announced that he will intend to run for U.S. president in 2024, despite facing several scandals over his recent behavior. The rapper, who has legally changed his name to Ye, posted a video of his campaign logo to social media, alongside the caption, Ye 24. He also claimed to have Donald Trump to be his running mate. West said his request left the former president most perturbed. So what do you think of Donald Trump trying to run for president again? And what are your thoughts on Kanye running? Do you think either of them will have a chance at winning the primary and getting the Republican ticket for president?
So about like the Kanye thinking that he's gonna run with Trump thing, I think Trump like released a announcement saying that Kanye West is like mentally ill.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. Which is
I swear that like all these young people that are voting, they're gonna vote Kanye in because it's funny.
Yeah, but like,
Kanye
will
West
they?
for president.
Will they?
And then we're gonna
Never.
get stuck with Kanye as president, and then we're
I don't think
screwed.
he's
I mean, I
actually
feel like
wrong.
most young people that like go out of their way to vote are like pretty serious about it. Like I feel like most people that would like vote for him as a joke aren't gonna like take the time to register to vote
That's
and like
true.
actually go to
Also,
the polls.
I think there's a lot more like older people that would not vote for Kanye that would obviously like outgo or like outrun the like younger people that may vote for Kanye, and I don't think he's gonna make it far at all.
I don't think he has like any chance really, because nobody really likes him, and they're not like openly
Yeah.
liking him. Also, the thing about Trump, it's like you're too old. Like literally, it's so exhausting. Like get out of here. You're too old. You don't understand anything that anybody knows. Like
It's
I don't understand
time to
it.
hand off like both parties to the younger generations.
So you think we should just start like, putting like, I guess,
Yeah, just
Well, a little bit younger people.
put politicians in
Yeah.
homes and put like,
I think we should just get rid of like the only like two-party system. Like that just does nothing. Like why can't we all just like meet in the middle? Because you're either too far left or
the
too
problem
far
is
right.
no one is like gutsy enough to go out and vote third party. Like third party would get more attention if I think it's like if they get 5% of the vote, they're allowed to participate in the debates for the next presidential election. And if just 5% of the people go out and vote for a third party candidate, that would be able to happen. But people are like scared, like, but then like the worst option for me might become president because I'm not giving my vote to like the second best option.
Yeah.
That's like more popular. So I think like maybe ranked choice voting is like the answer, where you could still vote for that third party candidate, but you're not in fear of putting that one politician that you dislike a lot in power.
I think a lot of people don't know that there's more than two parties. Like, it's just not something that's really well known. Like, there's all these parties, but, we are in a two-party system with Republicans and Democrats. And if you believe, like, not even more of one or more of the other, you just kind of default to one because that's what everybody else does. So it kind of leaves you in this constant cycle of a two-party system.
What we need is we have a certain age you can become any member of the government. It ranges. What we need is an age cap, a point where you are deemed, they say that like around 60 to 65 years old, you start to, become senile. You forget things or whatever. You get old, right?
That's
It
when
happens.
most people start retiring
Right.
around that age too.
So why do we have politicians who don't get to take that same advantage? If you look at other countries from throughout history that were successful for the short time that they were, they all had age gaps on their government. There was a cap where you just couldn't be in government, and I think that is how we eliminate the two-party system.
I think another reason why there hasn't ever been a cap was because like people were dying a lot earlier when the Constitution and like all these like articles were written. Like people weren't living to be 90 years old and still be able to like speak on stage. So I think that's another big reason why there was never a cap. And the people that have to put this like cap and age in place are the same people that are on their deathbeds and still sitting in seats in Congress.
Yeah, I mean, but like Trump also though, he is at the age of retirement. So like Rick just thinks he's retired. Like he just goes and plays golf when like he has one of the biggest responsibility out of like everyone in the United States pretty much, like of keeping our country safe and keeping it to save. And like he just doesn't really care. He goes down to Florida and plays golf whenever he wants to. Like I feel like he thinks he's retired and is like living a retirement life when he has the most important job in the United States.
I think with the age cap thing, there's also experience to take into account. Like, playing devil's advocate here. Like new people, they're new to the whole system. They might serve under a House of the Representatives or serve under one of those people in the government, but it's just not the same as having 30 years in the field.
But they could still be mentors to these new people, and they could still be mentors to these younger people. Like you see, the former presidents being mentors to politicians and supporting politicians. It's not stopping them from being involved in politics at all. It's stopping them from holding voting power and having the most important power. They could still have an influence.
I mean, I feel like the best thing is just to have a good mixture of everyone, because there's still policies that younger people wouldn't understand for older generations and vice versa. So if there's a good mixture of ages and everything, I feel like that's kind of the best option to because you want your government to represent the people in the country. So
Speaking of PA, the Eagles are taking a massive W this season with an almost winning streak going 10-1, ranking first in the NFC East. Is anyone here an Eagles fan, and what do you think the chances are of the Eagles going to the Super Bowl for the second time in a decade?
Go Birds.
Exactly.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Go Birds. Go Birds.
I would honestly say it's 50-50. I think they meet either San Francisco or the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC Championship, and if they win, and I think at that point it would be 50-50. I think
Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl.
they're going to get the bye probably easily, even with C.J. Gardner-Johnson being injured.
I'm so upset. I just ordered his jersey.
He's going to come back. He's back in 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's just a lacerated
6
kidney.
weeks, yeah, he can be
It's
back
just a lacerated
during the
kidney.
Super
He'll be
Bowl.
all right.
No, he'll be back. He'll be back for playoffs.
He's got internal bleeding right now. I'm more focused on him surviving.
No, I'm upset about Dallas Goedert and his shoulder injury. Dude, you're on my fantasy team.
I
Step
know.
it up. Just
I
play
need him
through
for
it.
the fantasy
Just
chip.
play through it.
The way it stands now, though, all of the
Give me my
Eagles'
signals.
injured players that play big roles are set to come back for playoffs, so they could definitely make a run if no one big gets injured.
Yeah.
And I think no matter who they play in the divisional round, I think they beat, because they're going to probably be playing a team like the Giants or Redskins, who would have
Commanders.
already
All
seen
right.
a lot.
Yeah, why was it? Come on. Okay.
But I think it's just a 50-50 chance if we could beat the Vikings or 49ers in a big game with our young team.
I mean, we also don't just have the best record in the NFC East. We're the best in the whole NFL. I mean, come on now. We are the team. Even though everyone online has in all the analysis and everyone, they have the Chiefs ranked number 1 above us, which
I think it's because of the youth of the team. You know what I mean? Everyone's so young on the team. All the players playing big roles are young.
I mean, we still have a bunch of key veterans. You got Jason Kelsey.
Oh, yeah.
You got Lane Johnson on that O-line. And then you do have, the young guys. Jordan Mailata is now learning from Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
And, Jordan Mailata, will be a great tackle for us in the upcoming years.
I mean, I think even if they don't make it to the Super Bowl this year, I think the future is looking really bright for Super Bowl run in the next 5 years, because you have guys like Dallas Goedert, you have Jalen Hurts, you have Devontae Smith, you have young guys on the defense like Jordan Davis, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who are just getting better by the day.
Yeah, but thing with Jalen Hurts, so his play style reminds me a lot of Carson Wentz, and then he got hit once, real bad, and I mean, it ruined his career pretty much. That's all it takes is that one hit. So that's what kind of scares me about Jalen Hurts.
That's what we got
running for
Gardner Minshew
150
behind him.
That's what scares me for him running 157 yards in a single game, though. You know what I mean? I feel like we're overusing him.
I got the utmost confidence in Gardner Minshew if things need to take over.
This is true. We do have the best backup in the league. Once again.
I'm just scared that Jalen Hurts is going to get hurt with the amount of hits that he's getting.
Well, yeah, because
You sound like my mother.
he gets out of the backfield a lot like Carson Wentz does, and he does try to make big plays with his legs.
Like Carson Wentz did.
And like Carson Wentz did, and like Michael Vick did, and like Donovan McNabb did. And the thing with that is it's scary, because when you're a young quarterback, you could take those hits. But when you start getting older, you start getting more fragile, and especially
look at Tom Brady now.
You're not getting hits by college students anymore. You're getting hits by grown men, like the biggest
350-pound
yeah.
men.
And all it takes is one hit to the legs, and his career could be derailed, like Carson Wentz's career got derailed.
I think he does a very good job of not taking hits, like all things considered.
I mean, but you see how much he like tries to break tackles.
Well,
like that's concerning as a quarterback.
That's when you need a big play. If you need a big play, he's there. If you don't get those big plays, you're not in the situation that you're in, being 10-1. You know. I think that as he develops, the refs will give him some credit for these slides, and he's taking a little bit of cheap shots and running out of bounds. He's taking cheap shots, but you know, it's just all about becoming older in the league.
Also in the world of sports, the Phillies lost the World Series in Game 5 in Texas after their record-breaking 7-0 win in Game 3. Fans thought for sure that they would take the series, but they didn't win a game after that. What do you think of the Phillies' performance in the series, and how did anyone get to go to the game?
The Astros cheated. The Astros cheated
Okay,
again.
so
Cheaters. They're cheaters.
we won Game 1. It was a hard-fought game. JT saved us. We lost Game 2. That was also a good game. In that game, we just let the top of the lineup for the Astros killed us. And then Game 3,
Smoked them.
people that I don't want to say never played baseball before, but don't really understand the game, was like the Phillies just crushed the Astros. They could cruise through these next 2 games at home and take the series. When you offensively have that much production in one game, the next couple games, like, you won't play as well because, like, you waste all that energy and you waste all that, like, production on one game, and that's kind of what happened. They weren't able to hit the next game. The game I went to, they got no hit.
Right. Plus, I mean, we had who was pitching Game 3?
Game 3.
I don't remember, but I remember him doing amazing. I mean, he did.
It was
Suarez.
No, yeah, it was Suarez.
It was
Yeah,
a bullpen game.
Suarez, and then the game after that, it was the one guy that gave up like 3 runs in an inning.
Yeah, it was Nola.
That was.
Nolo didn't look that bad in the first couple innings. He settled down after the first. He had a bad first inning, but then he had that big inning. Then they brought in who hit Jordan again? Was it Alvarado? Yeah, they brought in Alvarado,
Yeah,
and then he hit
got
Jordan, and then he gave up, like, you could tell once he hit Alvarado, he was shooken up, and he gave up all those runs.
I think he meant to walk the first batter and then like just hit him, you know, and then the next guy up's supposed to be the easier out of the guys, and then he lets him hit a grand slam, 3-run home run. So I don't know. I got high hopes for next year. I think next year's Nick Castellanos' year because towards the end of that series, he was just kept getting on base and felt like you couldn't stop him. But
Wow. And in Game 5, though, Czech McCaswick had a really good catch.
You mean Chas McCormick?
Ches McWagwick.
McCormick?
Yeah, he had a good catch. He's from Millersville.
Really?
Yes.
I knew that.
Anyways, what a good time in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that
history. That
catch-
was such a good time.
That catch in Game 5 probably saved them that game because JT would have been at least on third base because of the way Chaz was going after that ball. With Bryce Harper coming up with 1 out, Bryce Harper would have probably tied up the game. So that probably
Jameson.
saved them the series.
I heard that you cried when the Phillies went to the World Series. Did you cry afterwards?
I cried after they lost, yeah. It was sad days.
When it was like the bottom of the 8th inning when we were getting no hit, and one of the guys that was selling like beers and hot dogs like walked down all the way down the steps in our like section, and took it off his head, and he like stood up to give a speech, and he was like, World War II wasn't over after the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. Let's get up and fight. And everyone got so hyped. And then Reese Hoskins struck out to begin the inning, and then everyone was like sad and depressed again. It was like, but that like speech by the guy was just like so funny, and like it made it like everyone's mood brighten up. But like I was definitely sad after they lost.
Yeah, I think Reese needs to go, but I'm glad Gene Segura went. You know, just Phillies things.
Were you guys still like at least happy that the Phillies got to the World Series?
I'm glad that it happened.
I mean, yeah, like
Yeah.
they didn't win, yeah, but I mean they still got
gives
there.
good.
It gives a team postseason experience that is able, like the Eagles, to maybe make a run the next 2 or 3 years. They're getting old, but they still have another 2 or 3 years to get it done. And I think that if they make good moves to get a better shortstop, maybe get a better first baseman in free agency, add some pitching depth, we could definitely make another big run next postseason.
Someone needs to tell Marsh to cut his hair though, because that is nasty. I cannot stand that. That is so gross.
I heard the story behind it.
He's just a big old grease ball.
He like dips his hair in every inning.
So he got made fun of for not being able to grow good facial hair in college. So he like hasn't cut it.
I
Since
thought it was
then.
because like I heard that his dad passed away, and then he just like hasn't cut it since his dad passed.
Well, I heard
that's
that
what
he
I
wets
heard.
his
So
hair.
things.
Baby oil and water in his hair.
He always has like water in his hair, but he like wets it every inning or something.
That's so nasty.
Yeah,
Like, why would you want your hair to be greasy?
Well,
Yeah,
it's
it's
to keep it out of his face.
Yeah.
Well, then cut it.
Well, that's the obvious thing, but
All right. More of the sports. Just yesterday, the U.S. beat Iran to make them 1-0-2 in the World Cup. Next, they play the Netherlands on December 3rd. Games continue until December 18th. The U.S. men's team has never won the World Cup, and the furthest they got was in 1930 when they lost to Argentina in the semifinals. Do you think this will be the year for the U.S. to win the World Cup? I'm just going to say right now.
it's called soccer.
Probably not.
So
It's called soccer.
So a lot of people are underestimating this U.S. team for good reason.
It's the Netherlands.
They think the MLS is far inferior than other soccer leagues, which they have proven throughout the World Cup that the MLS is a good soccer league with players like Christian Bale. Messi might be coming, but either way, I don't think this is the year for the U.S. I think they might make it to the round of 8, maybe the semifinals, but I think in 4 years from now, in 2026, when it is in North America and they're playing in their hometowns and they're 4 years older, because after all, I think the average age for the starters is 23. Yeah. They're going to be in their primes. They're going to be playing in their hometown, and I think that's the year they could make a run.
I think this year's Phillies. We got our hopes up. They're looking pretty good right now, but I mean, I don't know if they're gonna be able to get it done.
They tied the 4th best team in the world. So.
Yeah, they're supposed to.
I do not know a single thing about soccer.
I don't
when
know
they went and played like Great Britain or whatever their team's called. Yeah, England. I didn't know what they titled it as, you know, but like it was crazy because I didn't even watch the game, but I was rooting for them, you know, because like just because I still hold a grudge from like the 1700s, you know, when they were taxing us, like that was.
No taxation without representation.
Oh yeah.
Facts. No taxation without representation. Yup.
It's called soccer.
A lot of USA fans were celebrating after we tied against England because we outplayed England for a majority of the game, and there were so many English people, whether they're citizens or players, saying USA's trash. We're going to beat USA by 5. It's not about is England going to win. It's about how much is England going to win by. There's so much trash talk to the USA team, and this young team was able to prove themselves that they should be respected throughout the world and that they can make a run in the World Cup this year, and they're a team to fear 4 years from now.
Yeah, but Joe, I mean, do you remember what happened last time England and USA faced off? Happened in like 1776.
1980. We won.
Come on now.
1980 they played and the U.S. won. This is the 3rd time they faced
He's talking about a war.
I know, but they were
All right,
we're
the
2-0-1.
last important time. The last important time.
Well,
The group that we got put in the
draw.
World Cup was very politically relevant because you have the U.S. and England, who obviously has a lot of history, and then you have the U.S. and Iran, who have a lot of history right now, and Christian Pulisic, who they call Captain America, was willing to take a knee to the crown jewels
I heard
to
about
take
that.
USA the victory.
Absolute
He had to go to the hospital after it happened, but he was able to. He sacrificed his body for USA to win.
He
and that's
sacrificed his kids.
That's what American spirit is about.
He is an American hero.
He's an American hero.
Hear the Eagles screech.
The Harvest Ball, organized by Bash, was supposed to occur this November, but since been pushed back until 2023 due to the lack of ticket sales. Some students felt the $20 per ticket was too high for a school dance. Did anyone buy tickets to the Harvest Ball? Why do you think ticket sales were so low? Should the tickets be cheaper and just not have food at the dance? Or should Bash just cancel the dance as a whole?
Wait, when was it rescheduled?
I think like March.
It was.
What do you
March.
harvest then? You don't.
No,
It's not a
my-
harvest. You don't harvest anything in
It was
March.
just gonna be
Springtime
it was
ball.
just gonna be just like a ball, yeah, like springtime
Just
ball.
the
I don't think it was gonna be like a
Why
harvest.
didn't-
What do you think the harvest was?
Yeah.
Wait,
I don't think it was supposed to be anything like special.
Why did the freshmen go? If you're so mad about homecoming, just go to
Because it's
Harvest Ball.
lame. It's
Yeah,
the
it's because
harvest
okay,
ball.
it's
because
say,
it's a
not my
harvest
problem.
ball.
I don't
and-
really care about that dance. Like as a senior, even as just an upperclassman, like juniors and seniors, like they don't care about those dances as much because like they'd rather go to their proms and like homecoming, you know, and that's why homecoming sold out. And then this one, nothing, you know, like it's very. There's a drastic difference there, like from selling out to not even having enough to host a dance. Like that's just crazy.
Yeah, because I think also like most people went to homecoming, so it's really only like, and plus since it was so close to homecoming, people aren't like, nobody wants to like get another dress and like go to another dance like back to back. So it was only like freshmen buying tickets, and like it can't just be like a freshman dance, you know. So I feel like that's probably why
If
there
the
wasn't enough.
freshmen and like sophomores that didn't get tickets, if they want it that bad and they want to sell tickets that bad, they can have their own little dance just for the like underclassmen that didn't get to go to homecoming. If the school wanted to do that bad, because I know a lot of freshmen probably would have gone to that, but I guess it's not like much hype around it because there's no upperclassmen that you get to see in like a outside of school setting.
I feel like it's gonna be a lot like the winter ball last year, where there's barely anyone there. Like there might be like 100 kids there. And it's
a
just
big turnout.
Yeah.
There was also like no like build up for Harvest Ball. It was like, oh, it's this time, and it's like way too close, like what Faith said. But also, I think that $20 is like a lot for a school dance. And I know they said there was food, but like even people were saying like, why would I want to eat food and like dance? Like I know you do that at prom, obviously, but like it just seems like a lot of money for like a school dance.
All right, I got a grudge against that claim.
No.
The price. People complain so much about there not being food at the prior whatever. Okay.
Who said that?
There's been a lot of people.
They could have had like chips or something.
Right. Well,
like little bags
listen.
of pretzels.
Okay. When the peasant masses cry for food, the school tends to dig in a little too much. Now, when you want something at a dance, they're not going to give it to you for free. Of course, they're going to jive the price. They're price gougers. It's a school. That's all they do. It's all they want to do. Right. Exactly. Thank you, Faith. Supply and demand. You want bigger supply, it's going to go up.
Yeah, but also from like, you know what kids are gonna say? Like they're gonna be like, oh, that's a lot of money.
Well,
like
kids don't understand
it's not like I
trickle-down
don't
economics.
disagree with you. It's just like they're gonna be like, oh, that's so much money.
And if I'm spending $20, like I don't want no Dr. Bob. I want a Dr. Pepper.
Mr. Pibb.
Like
Mr. Pibb.
I don't want a Sierra Mist. I
I
want a
want
Sprite.
some bottled water, not water from the jug in little cups, and waiting in a line
The jug.
for water.
The jug was leaking
No.
everywhere.
I don't want.
People were pouring it on themselves. They were wasting the water.
I'm
I don't
not
want
gonna
your
lie.
expired candy from Halloween.
At homecoming, I was like so exhausted. So like that water in that jug was like the best water I've ever had. I'm not gonna lie. I was I was very parched.
Oh
so.
yeah, I couldn't hear a thing.
After homecoming, I could not.
Like, I feel like all my senses were dulled. It was like
People were like sweating through their suits. Like my
yeah,
but like
Simon was dripping.
my one friend got in the
Yeah.
car and like my sister like looked back and she was like, "Why is he wet?" Like it looked like he jumped in a pool.
My shirt was see-through by the end
we
of
went
it.
to
I was gonna
Wawa.
say, I mean, some of you guys just have to chill. Like it ain't that. Like
No, it's
it
always
is
that
that
serious.
serious.
You can't just chill at homecoming.
I mean, like you
Frank was
can
doing
dance,
You
but like
didn't even dance.
some of those
Don't
guys were
even.
going crazy.
You
and
have so many people
They sweated through their
around you.
suit.
There's so many people in like a confined
That stench is
area.
now in your suit forever.
no, it's not.
Dry cleaner.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Thanksgiving was last week, and the weather was perfect with temperatures in the mid-50s. Did anyone travel this Thanksgiving or go to any parades, or did you just stay local with your family? How was your Thanksgiving meals?
The usual.
Yeah,
Huge
nothing too
Thanksgiving
special.
meal.
Everyone at my Thanksgiving dinner was sick. There was like 12 of us who were just coughing, hacking the entire time.
I've just heard from. I feel like like a lot, the flu and stuff and COVID. I feel like a lot of that just affected people because I heard from a bunch of people, like people who I work with and like people, like friends of mine. They'd be like, "Oh, we just had to reschedule Thanksgiving because our family couldn't make it." I'm like, "Why?" It's like, "Oh, because they all got sick." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I will say on Thanksgiving, we went to my aunt's house, and my parents had this great idea to bring my dog because my grandma likes my dog. But it wasn't a good idea because I was one who got stuck with my dog the whole time, and she was running around everywhere, and someone left their plate like somewhere, and my dog started licking their plate. And yeah, I just had to say that.
I mean, for me, Thanksgiving this year was like kind of normal. It was just like normal meeting up with family, eating food. But we started a new tradition between me and some of my friends this year. We played pickup football on Friday. That was very fun and got pretty competitive. So, I mean, that was pretty much the only unique thing about Thanksgiving this year.
Speaking of traditions, I carried on my personal tradition of destroying any remnants of cranberry sauce during Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Because it's the cranberry purge at my house. My grandmother, bless her small, insignificant heart, she decided to bring, I love you, Grandma. She decided to bring cranberry relish, which is as bad as you'd expect it to be. And I immediately wanted to yak. It was bad. I tried it, hated it, and watching everybody eat it was sickening. Sickening to my core.
I will say at Thanksgiving, there was like all these vegetables because my aunt is like vegan. And so there was like meatloaf, but it wasn't like real meat. It was like fake meat.
Vegan loaf?
Yeah.
What's in a vegan loaf? Kale?
Beyond meat. And my mom was like,
God.
it's so good, try it. I mean, it was
Tofu.
fine, but like
Soy.
there was like all these vegetables and everything. Yeah.
It's kind of funny to me that like vegans like try to recreate the taste of meat.
It's like just eat meat. Why?
Gotta be honest, some
Just
like
eat the meat.
fake meat,
They
like
can't eat the
tofu
meat.
Well, why not?
They don't like the meat.
Well, if you're gonna like try to like make something that tastes like meat, why don't just eat the meat?
And, like,
They
this-
don't like the taste.
But they're trying to make stuff that
Tastes like the meat.
So why not just eat the meat?
They're doing it for health benefits, but then they're eating Beyond Meat that causes like cancer
Yeah, it's
like
like
at a
all
higher rate.
Chemicals and stuff
And,
like
you know,
that.
I mean, I know some people like the vegan culture has just gotten like a little out of hand because there's like people that call themselves like selective vegans that are like, oh, I'm vegan, but every once in a while I have a pulled pork. Like, I have a family.
I don't know how many
like that.
people
It's
do
just
this,
kinda
but
funny.
I went and got real nice rolls, and then I made myself a homemade turkey gobbler. It was so good. Like 10 out of 10 recommend. You got leftovers, odds are you do.
Those
The
King's
day
Ryan.
after-
And you know, Dan, what about the cranberry sauce? You gotta get the canned Ocean Spray cranberry, and it like comes out, and there's like a whoop,
And it just looks like a model of the can.
and it's, yeah,
That's my favorite thing
it's
at
so
Thanksgiving.
good. That's the good cranberry.
So good.
That is so good.
Okay,
That is the best
cranberry
cranberry.
sauce and mac and cheese are the two best parts of Thanksgiving.
This is a hack for next
not
Thanksgiving
true.
for any of you guys.
I'm going to check
Wake up.
psych ward because you're unsafe to be around.
Wake up in the
That's
morning.
how it goes.
Go to Giant.
Why?
Get a fresh roll.
That's where I went to get my rolls.
Go home.
Yep.
Wait, was it King's Hawaiian?
No, I got like a fresh like it's like what's
I got like the long like
well yeah
baguette.
like no I got like one of
Type of-
those like hoagie
not a roll.
rolls. They have like fresh ones at Giant now. I forget the brand. It like starts with an A. It's like an Italian brand. But anyways, I went home. I cut it open, and you could literally stuff this with whatever Thanksgiving stuff you have. I put turkey, gravy, potato filling. You could put cranberry sauce. You could put stuffing.
And also,
And then you just eat it, and it's like so.
I modified it though, like my gobbler. So I put some cheese down on the bread first, and guess what? Then the gravy didn't soak in and get my roll soggy. How smart am I? Pretty smart, right?
It's PhD level.
All right, all right.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Can I just say one more thing?
You can say one more
An
thing.
underrated Thanksgiving food are yams.
Yams with the
are
marshmallows on top
so
of it?
good. And you know that song that's like on TikTok?
No.
Oh my God.
Not yams
That
with the
yams
marshmallows.
Yams.
That is not the
Can I
song.
get
What's the
some
difference between a
yams?
yam and a sweet potato?
There
No,
is
not a yam with a marshmallow on top of it.
It's not
Just
one marshmallow,
yams.
it's a bunch of them.
Guys,
Just
we-
yams.
We all like yams. We all like yams. All right. The Friday after Thanksgiving, known as Black Friday, is apparently dropping off as no one is going to Black Friday shopping since COVID-19 and Cyber Monday is picking up. Did anyone go to Black Friday shopping, or did anyone work Black Friday? Do you prefer Cyber Monday over Black Friday? If you went out shopping, did you notice less people than normal?
I looked online. Sorry, Frank.
It's okay.
I looked online for some Black Friday deals, you know,
They're so bad.
And I found either the deal was really bad and it wasn't worth it, or there was nothing at all. However, Cyber Monday comes storming around the corner like it's this hot and fresh thing, and everyone's got deals right off the block.
Yeah.
But because it's Cyber Monday, it's all electronics. Cyber Monday is its own thing, okay? Specifically for electronics. Black Friday for everything else. Food, clothes. That's about it. But I'm getting a little annoyed that everyone's waiting for Cyber Monday and we're leaving Black Friday in the
Black
dust.
Friday had horrible deals. They were like the same as like it always is, and it was just like nothing. And also, I was at the outlets twice. It was really packed, and like I felt stressed out going everywhere because everybody was in there, and like I kept seeing everybody. And it was just like kind of uncomfortable. But like the deals weren't good, and the traffic like to get into the outlets took like. To move like 100 yards, it took like half an hour. It was crazy.
So Black Friday has not turned into the day to save money anymore. It's turned into the day for stores to make money. So what stores will do is they'll be like, well, we have 50% off shirts today, but their shirts that were $20 yesterday are now $40. So you're really just paying the same price. And they just kind of do that to make
That's how they get you.
They kind of just do it to make it.
Yeah.
They just do it to make you seem like you're getting a better deal. Or like, I went to like Rally House like a week before Black Friday, and they already had like pre-Black Friday deals. Like you don't have to go shopping on Black Friday anymore.
What retailers do, working in retail, we hike our prices up maybe like a month before, and then come Black Friday, like 2 weeks, so like a week before Black Friday, then they start pushing out the deals, and they start doing this like something for $19.99. Like, hey, wasn't this $19.99 like before we marked up the price? Like, there's no change in anything.
My parents didn't plan this at all, but I'm born like always. My birthday's like always on Black Friday or a couple days after Black Friday. So let me. No. They I hope they planned me, but they didn't plan to have me when
They didn't plan to have you.
No.
I'm sure.
You're saying they didn't plan what day you're going to be born?
But basically, everyone like gets gifts for me on Black Friday. So now I'm gonna do that with my kid. I'm gonna, try and have them after Black Friday,
Okay.
a couple days after Black Friday. After Black Friday, and then guess what? Then the gifts are going to be like 50% off.
All right. Concluding that, as everyone knows, the day after Thanksgiving officially starts Christmas season. However, Christmas music has been playing in stores since the beginning of November, weeks before Thanksgiving. Is Christmas music starting too soon? When do you think it's an appropriate time to start playing Christmas music?
Yes.
Sort of, just a little bit.
No.
Just a little bit, because I like working Black Friday with the Christmas music. It gets me in the spirit for Christmas.
It's too early.
I think it's too early.
It should be
Weeks in
illegal.
advance.
It is too early.
On Black Friday, I think it's fine because it's the day after Thanksgiving. But we started putting up garland and stuff like 2 weeks before
Garland?
Thanksgiving.
Everyone's just-
yeah, like in the store.
What's garland?
Garland?
Yeah.
It's like the green leafy stuff.
Oh, the long one.
I had
like
to
the
put that
snake.
up 2 weeks before, and I was like, I think it's just too early. Playing Christmas music, it's just too early.
So I woke up Black Friday, played Christmas music, decorated my dad's house. My mom picked me up, went to her house, put on more Christmas music, and decorated her house. So for me, like, Black Friday is the entrance into the holiday Christmas season. So like that's
I decorated. I decorated Black Friday. I'm on Joe's side. I decorated
Black Friday. There's two acceptable answers: Black Friday or the first day of December. Those are the two acceptable Christmas start times.
I think anytime after Thanksgiving is appropriate for a Christmas celebration. Christmas music. Also, you should listen to the Bryson Tiller Christmas album. Anyways, but yeah, anytime after Thanksgiving is appropriate for Christmas.
This is the pet peeve that makes me want to push my sister down a big set of stairs. My sister, it'll be November 1st, 1 a.m., and then I just on the other side of the wall I can just hear Mariah Carey, and it instills such a deep sense of hatred inside of me.
How? Mariah Carey should never inspire hate.
You should be thinking.
Well, no, it's
Right after Halloween.
but it's all
Okay.
I want for Christmas is
I
hate.
think
After Halloween.
I'm the kind of person that sets up Christmas like December 23rd. Like
Yeah.
I need 2 days of
I
Christmas.
will
and
say
then I'm done.
I have a mini Christmas tree in my room and it has been up since last Christmas. So, yeah, why take it down just to put it back up?
I can,
you
okay,
know?
yeah, but like, for the people who like start putting up Christmas decorations right after Halloween, I
No,
don't
I
like
don't do
you.
that.
I don't.
Small-minded individuals.
Yes.
I kept my
Yes.
Halloween decorations up until I put my Christmas ones up on Black Friday.
Listen, it's a personal preference that anything after Cyber Monday is considered Christmas because that's technically the Thanksgiving Day weekend.
I think December is Christmas.
There you go.
No, that's a little
I think
much.
Christmas is the
That's
snow
a
on the
little
ground.
Okay,
too
so
late.
I used to agree.
It's not
December
Christmas
1st
until the
is
snow hits the
National
ground.
Christmas starting day, until I heard of a thing called like the end of like I didn't hear of it, but I like learned that at the end of the Thanksgiving Day parade, the last float is always Santa. So that kind of convinced me that it's acceptable on Black Friday to maybe start the Christmas celebration because it's not that far off from the first day in December. So like I'll accept either one of those answers personally. Yeah.
Yeah, anything after like that last Sunday in November, I feel like
It's fine.
you're okay. Yeah. Dude, I don't hate you.
All right.
All right.
Anything
Oh,
sooner,
alright.
like before Thanksgiving? No.
All right. The CEO of Tyson Foods, Donnie D. King, was arrested on November 6th due to allegations of falling asleep in a stranger's bed after getting intoxicated at around 2 a.m. No further information has been given because of an ongoing investigation. What do you think is going to happen to Tyson Foods when King is tried in court?
Oh my gosh.
With a name like Donnie D. King, you are immune to any crime you commit
Donnie D. King.
on the planet.
How
You're
did-
getting away with
Can
it?
I ask something?
Yeah.
How did he even get in the stranger's house?
Because
She probably
little
just
do you
didn't
know
lock
about
his
Donnie
door.
D. King.
Why didn't she lock the door?
Maybe
Listen,
she's in like a safe neighborhood
listen.
and she just didn't think about it.
Donnie
Maybe she's not
DK.
expecting
Oh, that man can do
CEO
everything,
Tyson
right?
That man,
to walk on
Donnie
in.
D. can do anything.
He can wink at a door. and it
Obviously
opens.
not.
Donnie
Wait,
DK got the
Winks at a
keys
door
to
and
the
it
city.
unlocks.
He flutters his hands at the door and like, ooh, and it pops open.
The house accepts him.
No. And he wouldn't have gotten her.
I mean, also he could have just like knocked.
this? Who is
Tyson Chicken Nugget.
Him.
Hold on.
She reported him.
Who and why and what is he doing?
Like-
You're gonna get arrested.
I guess that's my.
I mean, Donnie could have just like knocked on the door, and then like the husband opened it up, and it was like, oh my gosh, Donnie D. King, come right on in.
Yeah,
the wife wakes up the next morning,
Okay,
and
but
she's
we
like,
saw that
oh my
man
gosh,
knock-
Donnie, what are you doing here?
He kind of looks like that corrupt politician in like all the like TV
How dare you?
shows.
No, he's the base
How
template
dare
for all
you
the corrupt
disrespect
politicians.
Mr. Donnie D. King?
That man owns the biggest chicken nugget company in the world.
Speaking of owning stuff now, Elon Musk bought Twitter on October 27th of this year. Musk made it possible to become a verified user by buying Twitter Blue, something that makes the blue verified checkmark appear next to anyone's name and push them to the top of pages. Also making users able to impersonate big corporations, causing them to lose billions. Elon has also since fired more than half of his staff, and others have resigned, leaving 3,700 jobs at Twitter eliminated. In addition, Elon has unbanned people from Twitter, including former President Donald Trump and Andrew Tate. What do you think about Elon making these big changes to Twitter? Don't even talk about Andrew Tate, Michael.
If you pay for Twitter, you should be thinking about your life choices.
This-
because why would you
This
ever?
is the best move in generations. Not because like, oh, people like impersonating big corporations or like people being mean to other people.
Wow.
This is returning Twitter to its roots. Twitter is meant to be a war zone, and I am enjoying it. I am happy. I don't even get mad anymore when I get tricked because I see a fake CBS Sports tweet that says like Bryce Harper is like out for the year. Click here to see
Well, it's
why.
not just that. It's
But,
like
I know,
the
but it's just funny. And it's like the
Eli
war
Lilly-
zone. It's the war zone that's meant to be.
But
Like this is why
Eli
Twitter was
Lilly
created.
company-
Hold on. Right, but he's kind
Yeah.
of being a hypocrite because I think, Delia, you said the other day about Twitter was banning someone from the H3H3
Yeah.
podcast, and not Twitter. Elon Musk had expressed his opinions on the fact that the First Amendment right should be expressed. However, when you then turn around to ban people for certain things, it's a bit hypocritical. But I do think, however, that this is the perfect showing of a left-winged media company being turned into a right-wing media company. And I think that it's a very big statement on our political climate and how much of a disaster it is. Because Joe's right. It is an absolute obligatory war zone in there. I mean, I'm not going to say what I saw, but I've seen some stuff that I don't want to see on Twitter. And it's gotten worse since Elon Musk bought it. And I think that what we truly should have, I would be fine with him buying it if he didn't turn around and start banning people who bashed him for the purchase of it. If he let them on Twitter and just left them alone and gave them the right to freedom of speech, I'd be fine with the purchase of it. But because he's going back on his word, and I don't like no liars now. You know me, I'm not a big guy on liars. All right? I can't.
I think what he's doing is, so I think I heard, is this an idea? So I think Elon Musk is going to so you have the blue verified thing, right? For people who can just buy it for $8 and impersonate other people and crash the stock market.
I was gonna say the one crash, the one stock crash of the insulin company.
Yeah, it was Eli.
Now, how many people are out of jobs and out of money from there? Like they all have family. Same with all the people that he fired and all the people that he didn't fire, but said he was going to and then quit.
Well, there's a lot of people that resigned because they just didn't like the changes he was making. He fired almost literally half of his staff for what reason?
Yeah, because he was gonna cut their pay and make them work harder or something, and they are like, yeah, no, I'm out of here.
Half the staff is also pointless. I don't understand why these big media corporations.
Well, that's not true because now we see what happened to Twitter after he fired him.
What happened to it?
Twitter blew, stock market went down for them.
Twitter, the stock market didn't go down for Twitter.
Yeah, it went down for that insulin company.
That's what I mean.
Well, no, Twitter was. I think Twitter was already doing bad just before.
Before he bought it, expecting him to buy it.
I mean, okay, I'm just gonna say this: Facebook, Twitter, they're all just going into the dumpster at this point.
I mean, this was the best effort at keeping Twitter alive, and it has shown a little bit of growth for Twitter. There's a lot more people using Twitter now, which is good in a way for the.
Also, less people are using Twitter.
A month from now, do you think people aren't just on it because it's just the new crazed fad that's going on?
I think the reason I think people stay on it is because people like
drama.
It's Twitter. If you were on Twitter 6 years ago, before politics became a huge polarizing thing, it was just an absolute war zone of people just bullying each other on Twitter.
I feel like
and it's just returning to its roots of what Twitter was.
I feel like no one should have that much power because he's got Tesla now. He's got his SpaceX or whatever. Now he has Twitter. That dude, you're rich and not, so just stop, you know?
The one thing that annoys me about him especially is he's trying to control things in wars.
He's trying to control everything.
He's trying to influence decisions.
What's next? Is he gonna buy the United States and we're gonna become a communist country?
He was getting mad because he set up a agreement between Russia and US.
All right. Okay. The U.S. Senate passed a bill to make daylight saving time permanent come 2023, which would end the twice annual changing of clocks, terminating an extra hour of sleep all year round. How will this affect society economically and personally? Are you in favor of this?
This will not affect anyone in any way.
It will not. And also, I think it makes people depressed, daylight saving time. I'm being so serious because when it gets dark so early and there's no sunlight, it's really depressing. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's so horrible. I get so sad. It's it's dark out. What am I going to do now? Nothing because it's dark.
Yeah, I wake up, I go to school, and then I have practice or something after school, and then I get home, and it's dark out again. I'm
it's dark when you wake up, it's dark when you go to bed.
Going back to what Joe said, how it's not going to affect anyone, there's actually a study that turning the clocks back reduces car crashes because you do get that extra hour of sleep.
Got you there.
And turning turning the clocks forward, you lose that extra hour of sleep, and it's still dark in the morning. People can't see, so you're tired, and especially you're still releasing those melatonin chemicals.
Wouldn't it go both ways though? Because at night when you work all day or something and it's dark outside, at the end of the day, I don't know. I feel like it's either way.
You're driving home then in the dark. So
what's next? No time zones?
You're still more awake than you were just waking up because your body isn't producing.
But hear me out. right before we fell back, I would wake up at like 7 in the morning and the sun would be rising. We fell back. It was like, oh, the sun's up at 6 a.m. now. Cool. The sun is rising at 7 o'clock again. It maybe made a difference for like 2 weeks. Like, let's be honest.
I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
I was
wake
waking
up
up this morning and it was
Yeah, I woke up at
the
6.
sun rose at 6:30 today.
yeah, that's when it's supposed
Yeah.
But like, the farther we go through winter, it's just gonna get back to that 7 o'clock time, and that's rush hour anyways. Like that's when people are starting to go to work.
Yeah, I don't like the sun rising when I'm driving to school because I got problems with like the lights and stuff, and I am afraid I'm gonna crash because of the sun. You
That
know.
is like the worst one because like going in the parking lot and then the sun is just right in your face and you can't see. And I can barely park as it is, and so now it's making it 10 times harder.
Yeah.
I mean, but like, what's next? No time zones? Come on, what's...
That's not. Evan just said that same thing. That is not how it works.
This guy told me to say
It's
that.
like,
but
oh,
like,
look, what
come
time
on.
is it? I don't know. The sun and moon are
We should
rapidly
all
spinning
use,
around.
we should all use sundials like the old
That is
days.
going to be. That is
I don't
definitely gonna
even
be a
know how
Twitter
to
post,
read like
isn't it?
a normal clock
Okay,
with the hands.
What if we just like it's like a big TV event. We spin a globe around, and we just keep on spinning this globe around, and then we pick like a random person out of the 8 billion people that are on this earth to put their finger down in one spot, and wherever their finger lands becomes the place we center all time around. So the time is the same everywhere.
I don't know.
I think
if
you're
that
an
would
idiot.
work.
I don't think that would
would
I think you're a moron.
What if it's Iceland?
But
and
then,
it's
but
just
then
we
like
never get nighttime.
But then like PM could be like the morning time for other people. Like everyone should just have the same time. It should be like 8 o'clock everywhere. But like,
That's not.
It's like people
But,
are
like,
going to
But it goes
work.
on
It's
how
like
the sun revolves.
but like no, but like
It's the
it could still be like,
sun moving.
but it could be still like morning time.
I don't think.
Guys, I'm gonna be
that's
honest. I
very-
think we should just get rid of the sun as a whole. I
Okay.
mean,
We don't need the sun.
That's a very unpopular opinion. That's a very unpopular opinion, Michael. Speaking of more unpopular opinions, I personally think we shouldn't have to say the Pledge of Allegiance in high school anymore because I just think it's a personal choice. I don't think I should have to say it. I said it when I was in elementary, didn't know the meaning of it now, and I'm kind of just don't really want to do it.
I'm gonna be honest.
I think it would be good, like when you're younger, if they like go through like the meaning of it and like what the purpose is. Because I feel like when you're younger, you're just like saying it. You kind of like feel like a robot. Like you
Yeah,
don't even
you say
like
it
know
just
why you're
to
saying
say
it
it.
or the purpose. But like I feel like if we learn the purpose of it and everything, then there'll be like more meaning behind it. You
Yes.
know?
I do not think that I can recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Really?
I just haven't said it in like 3 years.
We should, instead of singing the national anthem, I'm going to get punched in 3 seconds. We should sing Yankee Doodle.
I think we should sing Nicki
And-
Minaj.
no,
I think we should
no,
sing
no.
Super Bass by
No.
Nicki Minaj.
Here's why we should sing Yankee Doodle, all right? That is, because it was a British song made to make fun of Americans. And then we flipped it on them. So I think that we should, as just one big I hate Britain, we should just, in high school, convert it to Yankee Doodle. Because everyone knows it just as much as the national anthem. Exactly.
Not the national anthem though, like I don't know, I think that's kind of offensive and it could offend a lot of people, which can make like a really big problem. And also like you can kind of like, I think the words are good. You can like make it something that doesn't have to be like a hate thing.
I was gonna say you gotta respect
yeah,
though, like
exactly. And
your
I feel
country and like the people that fight for your country.
Yeah, like, people like look past that all the time.
I was gonna say people don't realize like
Yeah.
how great America, like that we're free and like what the struggles people go through to continue having freedom. Like
I think every Tuesday we
respect
should wake up every morning and recite the national anthem.
I will just say, like, with that part, I mean, that part's, like, good, but I think the tricky part is it's, like, everyone has, like, different views on the country, like, depending who you are. Like, the
Yeah.
country has done different things to different people. And so, like, I think that's where, like, the tricky part comes in. Because obviously, like, there's, like, respect behind it, but, like, this country has also, like, been very, like, not okay to certain groups of people. So,
right,
like,
but
that's
you're,
what's, like,
you're still
hard.
free. Like
I mean, yeah, but, like,
I
not
understand
everyone,
what
like,
you're
has
saying.
the
That like
same-
everyone's
because you're still
Yeah, not
no
everyone's
matter
treated the same, so,
what,
like, it's hard.
You're not going to be treated the same as, say, like Hispanic or African American or someone else. You're never going to be treated the exact same. They're going to look past you and say
So,
nothing, but then they might.
If anyone knows who Tyler Adams is, he plays for the U.S. national team, and he got asked this question by a reporter the other day
From
because he
Iran.
mentioned how he stands with the people in Iran, and he got asked by an Iran reporter as like kind of like something like just to get back at him. And he was like, what about the Black Lives Matter movement and people being discriminated against their color in America? And he said, what makes us so great in America is every day we're having people to fight against this to make our country a better place. And that we are able to fight against it and we're able to make change. And that's what makes America great. And I think every morning when I stand up and say the national anthem, I'm not thinking about like all the bad things we have done. I'm thinking about everyone in this country that's willing to make a change and willing to fight for good.
All right.
Well
That's
said,
actually,
Joe.
that's actually a really great.
That's why he's
an
president, folks.
insightful.
That's all we have for this month's episode of Insight. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a